Have you ever stared out the window and wondered what it would be like to just leave, pack up, fly off, and start fresh in a new place? Well, you're not the only one. Thousands of people trade their familiar lives for something totally different. And today I'm diving into why they feel called to do that. I did that too, so I have a little experience about it. Whether it's adventure, escape, or just starting over, expat life might be calling you too. Let your imagination run wild about what it might be like to live somewhere completely different. Maybe sipping coffee on a quiet street in Lisbon, walking through a night market in Bangkok, or waking up to the sound of ocean waves in Costa Rica. Yes, as I said, I've experienced that feeling too. Imagining a life beyond the familiar. Curious about what it would feel like to trade in the routine for something more exciting, more meaningful, or maybe just more who I thought I was. Wondering if expat life could really work for you? I've got something that might help. I put together a free checklist to help you figure out if living abroad might be the right fit for your lifestyle, your personality, and your goals. You can download it using the link in the video description. It's totally free and a great place to start your expat journey. That pull to step outside your home country and into a new way of life is what draws many people to become expats. And while it may look spontaneous from the outside, yeah, I know some of my friends were shocked when I took a job in Indonesia for just 3 months. Yes, it seemed spontaneous to them, but the decision to leave everything I knew was a combination of deeper desires, motivations, and even a few not so obvious factors that had built up over time. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm an introvert expat living in Indonesia, and I make videos about living the best life you can. Whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, an expat, a retiree, a digital nomad, whatever. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Kate Gypsy. One of the biggest drivers to become an expat is the longing for adventure. Yeah, I had that unshakable feeling that life was too short to stay in my home country forever. And you might reach a point where the idea of same old starts to feel claustrophobic too, even if your life isn't bad. You might have a hunger for something new, to shake things up, see what you're made of, and experience different ways of living. Maybe you want to see if you can navigate unfamiliar streets and unfamiliar customs and still feel like yourself. That craving for discovering both the world and yourself is often the spark that lights the fire to try life as an expat. Another huge motivator is sometimes the search for a better quality of life. That could mean different things to different people. For some, it's about escaping the grind of a high-stress job, or the feeling that you're working all the time, but not really living. For others, a better quality of life might mean a slower pace, a lower cost of living, or even just more sunshine and a warmer climate. You might be surprised by how many expats choose to relocate simply because they're tired of scraping by or feeling like they're not getting much in return for their efforts. Maybe you've thought to yourself, why am I paying so much for rent in a city where I barely have time to enjoy anything? That's a common tipping point. Many people start comparing their current lifestyle with what's possible elsewhere. And when they realize they could actually live better for less, in another country, it's a hard call to ignore. Of course, not all motivations come from being unhappy with your current life. Sometimes people become expats because of opportunity. Maybe your job sends you abroad, or you're offered a position that requires relocation. Or maybe you're retired and finally have the time and freedom to live wherever you want. So you decide to make that long held dream a reality. Students and remote workers can often study or work wherever they want now that online work and online study have opened doors that didn't even exist a decade ago. If you can do your job from a laptop anywhere in the world, why not do it from a terrace in Spain? Or maybe a villa in Bali? And then there's the desire for connection. Ironically, even though becoming an expat can feel like leaving everything behind, many people do it to find deeper and more authentic relationships. Maybe you've always felt like you didn't quite fit into the culture you were born into. I, for one, felt like a total misfit in my home country, even though I had tried more than one city. As an introvert, I always found myself trying to fit in, but I just wasn't successful. After I moved abroad, I felt accepted in ways I hadn't experienced from most of my friends and family back home. It wasn't a miracle. I had plenty of ups and downs, but I've made a wonderful life for myself as an introvert expat, even though I am very introverted. And let's not forget love. Plenty of people become expats because they fell in love with someone from another country. Romance has been sending people across oceans for centuries, but sometimes you just feel like you've hit a wall. Your life might be comfortable, but not inspiring. Maybe you've followed the script: education, career, house, maybe even family, and you're wondering, is this really it? Moving abroad can be a way to shake yourself out of autopilot and give you the chance for personal growth. You're forced to learn new things, adapt, and become more resilient. That kind of growth can be scary, but it's also exhilarating. When you become an expat, every little thing, from buying groceries to finding your way in a new city, can become a small victory. You discover new sides of yourself. You gain confidence and feel much more alive. And let's be honest, sometimes people don't even know exactly what drives them to take a chance at becoming an expat. They just feel restless. This nudge that says, there's more for you out there. It might start as a whisper, then grow louder over time. You scroll through travel blogs, watch YouTube videos about expat life, follow accounts that show dreamy images of other countries. Before long, you're not just curious, you're actively planning. You research visas, compare healthcare systems, and join expat Facebook groups. It's like something clicks into place and you realize that becoming an expat isn't just an escape. It's a path toward a better version of yourself. You've been waiting to meet that person. I've met people from all walks of life who've taken the leap: teachers, artists, IT experts, retirees, single moms, couples, and people of all ages, from their 20s to their 70s. They all had different reasons for going abroad, but what they shared was that moment when "what if" turned into "why not?" Some of them planned for years. Others just bought a one-way ticket and figured it out along the way. Not everyone stays forever, and not everyone falls in love with expat life. But even those who eventually return to their home often say the experience was worth it, opened their eyes, stretched their comfort zones, and gave them stories to tell friends they never would have had otherwise. So if you've ever caught yourself wondering whether the expat life could be for you, I'd say lean into that curiosity. Ask yourself what you're really craving. Is it change, freedom, connection, peace, growth? There's no right reason to become an expat, just your reason. And if you find yourself circling back to the idea again and again, it might be your heart's way of pointing you toward your next great adventure. Thanks for being here. Whatever your age, if you're thinking about starting fresh, I want you to know it's never too late. You're not behind. Your new chapter can be whatever you want it to be. If this video inspired you, please give it a like, drop a comment, and give it to someone, a friend of yours perhaps, who's kind of thinking along the same lines about living abroad and living boldly at any age. You've still got so much ahead, and so do your friends. And trust me, you've earned the right way to live it your way. Bye for now. Till next time.